Hello everyone and welcome to another Speedbuild with VelvettB, that's me, and today we have a blue and traditional home. So I don't do a lot of traditional homes, although I kind of want to do a few more, so you might see them popping up here and there, and yeah, this is what we're building today. And I did have an inspiration for this build, so you will see me bring the outside together pretty quickly because I could actually see what I wanted to do and I wasn't having to make it up. And so I did make this a limited pack build just to add a little bit of challenge to myself. And I also, I like building with limited packs because it just makes you use different things from what you normally do. So the packs that I use in this one, as you see me fluffing around with the roof, is obviously Basegame, Cats and Dogs, Discover University, Cottage Living, Spa Day, Dine Out, Dream Home Decorator, and Luxury Party Stuff Pack. So what was it? 8 packs altogether, including Basegame, 7 packs if you don't want to include Basegame. So yeah, so it should be nice and accessible for a lot of people on the gallery, and this is on the gallery, by the way, VelvettB on the gallery, so you can find me there. I've got a lot of builds up there. You can have a wee nosy through my selection, but this particular build is up on the gallery now, so you can go and find it there. So what I am doing at the moment is I am having a look at, well, chimneys, so that's going to be my first thing, and then I was going to have a look at whether or not I could get like a little, I think I do anyway, like a little house thing, what do you call them, windows? No, I don't do that on this one. Anywho, chimney. So this one has a fireplace, and I'm doing like the big and bold roof trim on this one too, so it's nice and outlined, I guess, vibrant. I don't know, but I went with blue. I wasn't actually entirely sure what color I wanted to go with, but in terms of the shade, I probably, if I had grown together, I probably would have done the growing together blue, the darker blue, but I didn't, so I didn't. I actually ended up going with the Basegame blue, I believe. So I'm just getting on the columns. The reason I've divided that up there into the platforms is I will join them up, so there's like a wraparound porch, but I'm simply doing that because I'm going to be adding in some spandrels a bit later. So what I'm doing at the moment is I'm just working on the side entrance to the house. So it kind of, the roof trim kind of clips a bit funny, so I might have a wee play around with that off camera and just see whether or not I can get that to clip properly. But you can see the spandrels going in there. So I think that's really pretty around the front of the house, and just adjusting the roof just to make that work a little bit better. And I'm just redrawing the wraparound porch because of reasons. Oh, actually I decided not to do a wraparound porch, that's why. So that's why I'm deleting it, because I decided not to do it. I wanted to have like the side entrance off by itself. And I'm just sort of working on a spandrel for the back as well, so the roof is actually going to extend all the way out. I'm just fixing that now, and there you go, and you got the pretty spandrels sitting down underneath, and those are actually Basegame spandrels as well. And then I'm using the Cottage Living fencing. I was just deleting the underneath of the stairs. That's always a way to make it a little bit cheaper. And I think I'm using the Cats and Dogs foundation actually. So I'm just working on the garden placement at the moment. So there's going to be like a little driveway. There is not going to be a garage going into the house. That is actually just going to be a driveway through to the house, and just working on pathways, how they're going to sit, and where the gardens are going to sit as well. I was really not happy with how this was kind of rounding out. So yeah, I was fussing around with this for probably way longer than I should have, but yeah, anyway. It was just, I wanted it to sit in a particular way and it just wasn't working for me. Anywho, got there in the end. So there is a little pool going in the back, and there is going to be like a little garden going in the back as well. So it is going to be, a user-friendly home, I think. I like to build user-friendly homes because I like to play in some of these homes as well, so why not make it pretty, functional, and user-friendly? That's my thoughts. So just getting in the gates, which I just double gated it so it didn't look so funny. because I love a nice scented gate, so it's kind of the easy way to do it. So I changed my mind almost immediately on doing that, but I do leave the pavement there by the pool because that's just going to be my little pool area. And just working on the doors, so I use the home decorator door there and just getting in the plants, and I just went for blue, so blue flowers basically, because it is a traditional home. That's the vibe I was going for, so I felt like flowers would probably be a better option for the gardens rather than doing like your grasses and rocks and stuff like that, which I would put maybe with a more modern build. And as you can see, where I'm placing the gardens is where the little patches were, so we've got those ready to go, and I'm just going to outline the little gardens and the pathways with rocks, because I think that's pretty. And it's a nice way of defining the lawn as well. I think the lawn looks more defined when it has the rocks around the garden area, and you can sort of see the green around there, so I think it's pretty. And I will do that around the other side as well. Now I do forget to do it in that little patch by the stairs there. You can sort of see that doesn't have rocks around it, and I don't go back and do that until after the build. So I do fix it, but I don't do it in this particular build. But when you get it on the gallery, there should be some rocks around there. And just going into debug for the car, but that's the only debug stuff I'll be using for this build. Now, here's the question, what do I use for the windows? So I did kind of fluff around a little bit, just trying to work out what ones I wanted. So I ended up using, I think that's Discover University, and actually Discover University almost all the way around, I think, and I use Cottage Living smaller ones, like the round ones up the top, and Cats and Dogs on the angled little bit there. But yeah, mainly Discover University windows for this one. I thought it looked quite nice, and I did deliberately use packs that I felt would work really well with a more traditional build. So I did actually think about the packs that I was using, so that I didn't use silly packs that would just not work. So that's what I did. So yeah, Cats and Dogs, Discover University, Cottage Living, I think they are all quite more traditional kind of packs. Spa Day, I wouldn't say that's a traditional pack, but I kind of felt that would have good items that would work with this. Dine Out I kind of mainly got for the plants. Dream Home Decorator just for the flexibility. So it's kind of more just adding to the build for some of the expansion packs and stuff. And then Luxury Party, it was just a random luck of the draw kind of, sort of not really random. I did think about it. I thought, well, that could be a decent pack to go with it. I don't know how much I use from that, but if anything, but it's there, I think. If not, then I intended to use it and never did. So I'm just getting the outdoor furniture there. As you can see, we've got the lovely barrel plant there, and I'm just doing shoes on the outside because I don't really have an entrance area as such when we go inside, so I thought that kind of worked on the outside there, and they can put their shoes off before they come inside. And I did fuss around with this because I was going to put like so I got a couple of bits of seating there, and then I was going to put like a coffee table in between, and then later on I do change that because I come across something from, I'm going to say, I think it's Dine Out, and it's like a outdoor light slash warming thing. Yeah, I came across that and I was like, oh, hang on, yeah, there you go, that's it there. And I thought that actually works quite nicely, like a porch thing. So I'm just going to do a bit of shading around the garden there, so there should be space there for your son to get around and plant their things. And I'm just going to fix the path, sort of. Oh, and then the Spa Day outlines of the paths as well. I was thinking about doing it on the driveway, and then I just thought it was going to look funny, so I just didn't. I'm just using the Spa Day pool decal, just because I have it, and I thought it looked cool. Cats and Dogs tree going in there in the corner. I do like those trees, they're quite nice. And yeah, that's the outside of the build, I think. And then I'm just going to add another Cats and Dogs tree there on the corner. I think that looked really pretty with the white, so I was very happy with that. And then we've got the cottage living windows going in just for the finishing touches, and that's our outside done. So let's have a look on the inside. So I'm just dividing up the house now. I was just working out what I want to do. So it is going to be 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. So you can see the shape that it's going to take. So I'm using it's a spa day windows going in for the bathroom. So yeah, I use windows for quite a few packs actually for this, a lot more than I thought. And using the Dream Home Decorator lights, because they give you sort of, I'm just using white at the moment, but I do change the colour on a couple of them, or at least one of them anyway, so that it kind of matches the bedroom. And then I am using the Spa Day kitchen stuff, because I'm going with a blue vibe on the inside too. And I am trying to keep it kind of traditional, but you know, it's not wholly traditional on the inside, but that's kind of the vibe. So I use, like, you know, some cottage living bits and pieces and stuff like that. I could have used the cottage living kitchen stuff, but I never get to use the spa day one that I wanted to. In all honesty. And it's kind of like, you know, the kitchen's been done up and, you know, it's a modern kitchen, but, you know, the rest of the house has that traditional vibe. So it's a basic kitchen, nothing too complicated. And then we've got the dining table sitting in beside the kitchen. So yeah, I mean, it's all pretty open plan for the living area. So you see there I'm using the cottage, I think it's cottage living or cats and dogs. Actually, I think those are cats and dogs chairs, I think. And then oh yeah, so it's all really open plan. So you've got the kitchen, the dining, like a little study area, and the little living room as well. So all very open. And I'm just going to build like some shelves in and around the desk there using the Dream Home Decorator kit, which is just great for all that sort of thing. I'm just going to change the colour on that to white. And there we go, like a little study area. Oh, I really like the light that I used for this. It was super cute. Not that light. There was another one. Oh no. Never mind. That light is cute, but that wasn't the one I was thinking of. I thought I used like this little round one, but maybe not. Okay, so then I was like trying to work out what I wanted to do with the living area. So I built the living area, you'll see that there, and then I'll change it completely. Because I remembered I needed to get a fireplace in. So good times. But anyhow, this will change a little bit. But it's kind of the area where it stays, but it will change around how that sits. But I stuck to the blue and just using some of the more traditional furniture, I guess, from like, is that from Cottage Living? I don't know, little bits and pieces anyway, that I felt sort of captured that sort of traditional vibe with a bit of a modern twist to it. So then you got the fun decision of working out what colours, and I was going to go like blue on the walls initially, but it just wasn't working. So yeah, I actually ended up using white on the walls with the brown flooring, so I thought that actually was quite a nice contrast to the blue, because you've still got quite a lot of blue going through the room. So yeah, I thought that was quite nice. And then I had that wall there and I was like, what can I do with that wall? So I did have a wee think about what to do with that. And just got that wall decoration going on there. So yeah, this is me just kind of working out, and I found this, I was like, oh, actually that's kind of perfect. It's kind of pretty and cool. And then I'm just using the Spa Day hall table, and just going to put some bits and pieces on, knick-knacks on there. Knickety-knacks. Just to decorate that. Just kind of kitcheny ones that kind of worked with the kitchen. I thought would kind of work there. And then I was thinking about what to do with this little area while I was doing the clutter. Oh, I added in the window, little Spa Day window things. Little grass planters. I thought they looked cute in the kitchen actually. I hardly ever use those, so it was nice to actually get those used. And I'm just adding a bit of clutter to the kitchen, not too much because it's not a huge kitchen. And yeah, I didn't want to fill it with clutter, but little bits on the end there, and in the corner where you don't use the bench so much. That kind of makes sense to me. You know, I put everything way too forward, so just moving it back. Okie pokey. And then I was looking at, I found a corner cabinet. I was like, oh, where can I put that? And then I was like, I don't have any corner space, is free, so nowhere. Oh, and then the lighting was way too bright over the study area, so I was just fussing around with the lighting for a minute. Oh, yeah, then there's the fun job of trying to work out the mat. That was too blue, but I don't think I changed that immediately. I was just sort of thinking on it. I put it there and I was like, left it to go mull over in the mind, because I sort of put the blue down and I was like, maybe I need to change the wall. And then, yeah, as you can see, I changed the rug in the end, because I was like, something's not working there. So I actually brought in the lighter brown colour palette to the room, and I think that actually mixed in really nicely with the darker browns and the blues and the white. So just decorating this little area here, and I will actually keep all that stuff for the most part. It just gets moved. And then bringing in, I was just trying to work out what to do with that corner too, and this little space too, because it felt like it was quite blank, like I couldn't just leave it like that. So paintings, problem solved, and a rug, paintings and a rug, and that sort of gave that corner like a little bit more life. I mean, there's not much you can put there because of the doors, so yeah. And I did decide that I wanted to do curtains in the living room as well. It just took away from the blankness of the walls, because I was using a white on the walls, and I just sort of wanted to have something else there. And I will put something in the space over by the desk as well. I ideally wanted a diploma of some sort, but I couldn't find one, which is what I'm looking for at the moment. I was like, oh, rats. So that must be with maybe high school years, not sure. But I thought Discovery University might have like little diplomas or something. If there are, I just couldn't find them at the time, so no diplomas on that little corner, which is what I wanted. Oh, and then this space drove me nuts. Ugh, I just couldn't find, it just was, yeah, it was a struggle trying to find something that would fit there nicely and not look silly. I did find something in the end. I did get there in the end, but yeah, it did take me a little while just to work out how I was going to do that. Yeah, see you later, Dream Home Decorator option. I mean, because there's just not there's a lack of tall, narrow things that you can put in little narrow spaces, unfortunately. And because of the way that the angle on the door and that sort of thing, it was really hard to centre something over that window, and it just, yeah. Anyway, I went for an easel. I was like, oh well, that's practical. That'll do. So the bathroom, I went with the Spade blue, navy blue stuff, and used different shades of blue and white in this room. And I actually got in a shower and a bath and the toilet and the counters as well. I actually ended up going with the dark blue country living counters in this one. I was initially going to do, like, you know how the two ends of the counters, just to give it a different look, but they kind of looked a bit funny, so changed my mind on that one. Right, and I'm just getting my little bits and pieces from there. I mean, the options are a bit slim with these packs as far as clutter goes, but you know, that's cool. It doesn't need to be ultra cluttered. And I went with brown on the walls. Oh no, I didn't. I changed that. I ended up going with blue on the walls, and then some towels up there, and they've got the little fold over them, but I just kind of, I left it because they kind of look like it's supposed to be folded, you know, like it's supposed to be like fancy towels or something like that. And just doing the towel racks there, which just would not sit evenly for me. I was just like, it was irritating me. I was like, these are not even. And then the robes going in there. And that should be accessible for the toilet, and then a nice rug with a bit of brown carrying through it. I did have those spaces under the windows. I was like, let's find some lights for under there maybe, because I mean, it's nice to have like a bit of light going around the bathroom mirror and that sort of thing, so you can see when you're doing your makeup and stuff like that. Okay, and then on to the bedrooms. We're doing really well here. So the master bedroom takes a little bit of mucking around just to work out what colour I want to do, because I wanted to keep up with the sort of the blue theme of it without without going too blue, if you know what I mean, like ridiculously over the top blue. So this took a lot of fussing around, just trying to work out what colours I want, because then I had to work out the bed and what colour the bed was going to be. So we're just about getting there with that, and this is where I realised that I needed to put a fire in. So I was like, no, that's not going to work. I need a smaller fire, and the layout is wrong, so we'll just change all that around. And then I deleted all that, and I was like, oh no, hang on, I can actually use that behind the couch. So used all that stuff, and then just moved it, and so like it's got like a little bit of an entranceway when you come in. So I felt that actually worked out a little bit better. So you got your study and your entranceway when you come in, and you can walk around to the lounge or through to the kitchen or whatever, and just using the rug there, the home decorated coffee table, because that's the nice matching blue. And I wanted to put stone around the fire as well. I didn't put stone on the outside. I did think about it, but I was like, no, that's just gonna look silly. So I did leave the outside as is, but just put a little bit of stone on the inside, because for safety reasons. And a cute little cat statue, because why not? And a little vase going in there as well, vase. So back to the bedroom, because I needed to work on that. I finished working on that. So I actually ended up going with like a kind of, what colour would you call it? It's not like orange and it's not brown. It's kind of a mid browny kind of colour. So I ended up working with that and the navy, because I thought those two colours actually gelled really well. And as you can see, I've changed the light colours, and that kind of works with it as well. So what I'm working on now is like a big wardrobe kind of area. I did play around with the idea of doing it as with doors and that sort of thing, but it wasn't working. It looked weird and just kind of cut the room off, but you'll see me do that later. And I was just playing around with how that was going to sit. I wasn't happy with that because the mirror was too high, so I did simplify it a little bit and ended up changing the dresser because that wasn't working. There we go. So this is more how it turns out. So just to give me like more space for bits and pieces, you know, it's nice to have like a little bit of space for your shoes and your shirts and your shoe boxes and bits of clutter. So that's what goes in here, and bits and pieces on top as well. And it frustrates me that, you know, you can't copy and paste without your filters like disappearing. It was like a constant frustration for me. So anyway, so this is me just having a play around of with making this sort of like a walk-in and stuff. So I actually put spandrels in there, and then I was like playing around with windows and curtains, and yeah. Anyway, it didn't work. So it was kind of better to keep that open, I think, in the end. Yeah, but I believe I kept the spandrels actually. So it just kind of, it's off in a room by itself, but not, if that makes sense. So I had to really play around with the clutter on there, so just sliding that into place. I actually ended up putting quite a bit of clutter on the dresser, because there's a little bit that I could use there. So because with Spa Day, obviously you get a few bits and pieces with Spa Day, and Dream Home Decorator kit obviously with the shoes and stuff. So may as well take advantage of the packs that I have, little bits and pieces, and then just putting like a little incense burner there and filling the space. Look at that, coming together rather nicely. So just changed the colour on the wardrobe just to bring it more in line with the rest of the feel of the room, I think. Oh, the curtains were tricky. Like trying to find a curtain that I liked with the packs that I had that would fit. So it's like, you know, it's 3 tiers of working it out. It's like, A, it's got to fit, B, I've got to like it, and C, I've got to have it, and make it work with the room. So So I did use those with the white rather than using a colour. I actually went really plain with the white because I think that still worked really nicely with the room, and just used the immaculate shelving up the top there just to finish it off and make it look a little bit more refined. That's kind of the idea there. I'm just going to move those around, and we've got a big wall there. So I actually found the Dine Out pictures there. And because some of the frames actually matched the colour of the bed and the chairs, I was like, oh, well, that's perfect. And then there's those wall plants from Dine Out as well. They fit on the wall perfectly in that space. I was like, perfect. So that finished off the room really nicely with a bit of life and decoration. So then moving on to the kids' room. So then I was trying to decide on what I wanted to do colour-wise. So I was thinking about I wanted to do like a neutral kind of wall. I didn't want to do blue or pink, so I was thinking yellow. And then I found these, then I pulled these curtains out and I was like, well, yellow doesn't really work with those, so let's change to another colour, and I went with like a nice minty green because I thought that kind of worked with the blue and the green, obviously. And then I found that mat and I was like, oh, that's perfect. I'm going to pull all those colours in that mat into the room. So we ended up with like a really nice colourful room with like pinks and yellows and greens and blues. Very pastel, definitely in the pastel vibe, but yeah, lots of cool colours. So I'm just going to build like a little study area in the bedroom. This is more for a child rather than like your toddler room, but I mean, you know, you can use it however you like, obviously. If you want to download it, it's yours to do with as you please. And then I'm just going to go through and change the colours on the front, because I thought, well, actually, you know, try and match in the colours on the... Oh, that's the little round light that I liked. That's where I put it. I really like that little round light. Yeah, I match the room with the different colours and that sort of thing. So I thought that would be quite cool. And then I had this sort of the blank wall space here, and I was trying to think about what to do with that. So I put in like a chair and some shelving. So I just changed the colours of those, and then put in some toys, because I mean, it's a kids' room, you've got to have some toys, and we've got a nice friendly bear there. And yeah, mix it up with some more toys, but nice and colourful. And I think, oh yeah, I put the dollhouse there, and then I sort of changed my mind about where that would sit. So I put it somewhere where it was nice and accessible on the side there, and then I just made like a little reading corner there with my first reading library thing, and a little ottoman stool and a decal on the wall just to add some life to the wall. And I think that ended up working out quite nicely, and just changing the light colour as well, and a growth chart. So there we go, all done. So let's take a tour of what we did. So here is the outside, and I think with that tree is just so pretty. It just brings it all together, I think, with the sort of the traditional pretty vibe, and like the spandrels on the outside as well. Just adds this little element of pretty, I think, to the build, and all the lovely flowers in the garden. So I think that ended up looking really nice on the outside. Just, you know, it's a simple kind of suburban home in the traditional sense, but yeah, as I said, I was going for something that would be practical and usable at the same time as being quite pretty. So, you know, you got your garden there in the back, barbecue area, pool for having some fun. I forgot pool furniture, so I'll add that in. Why didn't I put pool furniture down? I don't know. And you got a kid's climbing frame there too. And then so a couple of exits out of the house. So there's the side entrance and the front entrance there, and your little driveway where you can park your car too. And as I mentioned, I will put stones around that little front area too. And then going into the inside, so it's kind of a blend of modern and traditional. So I tried to make most of the furniture more traditional, but there is, yeah, modern touches here and there, and in particular like the kitchen counters and stuff. But I think they worked nicely in terms of colour, because I mean I wanted touches of blue, but not like an overwhelming amount of blue through there. And I think the chocolate floor actually works really nice with a lot of the furniture, because they've got chocolate tones running through it too. So that's nice. I really like that, and it should be all set up for a family. There is even toddler seating there, so if you do decide to go the toddler route when you're playing in the house, well, you can. And obviously there's a chance that more kids will come along. You can always put bunk beds in there as well. So going through to the master bedroom, so this is sort of the chocolate and, no, not chocolate, navy and mid-brown sort of flavour, with the big wardrobe, which I would absolutely love. Lots of, you know, shoe space and cosmetic space and a lovely mirror just to get your makeup done and that sort of thing. Not too much hanging space, but them's the breaks. And some pictures on the wall, which actually work really nicely with the room, I thought. And that is the bedroom with some little finishing touches there. There's little seats in the corner and the plants on the wall, and the matching light shades as well, which was a handy little touch. So then going through to the bathroom, where I kept it pretty blue, but with touches of brown going through there with the rug and the counters. And then finally going through to the kids' room. So I think this turned out really great. I love all the colours. I think it's really pretty and vibrant, and I think something that a kid would absolutely love, actually. I would have loved this as a kid, because I mean, you've got all your toys and stuff, and then you've got like your study area, all your books. I mean, I was a bookworm as a kid, so I would have been like, yay, books. And, you know, dollhouse and stuff like that, and cool curtains. You know, they've got a design on them, and I think that's really nice. So thank you for joining me on this build. I really appreciate it. And as I said, this is available on the gallery, VelvettB. And make sure you give it a like. And if you haven't, please subscribe. I would love to have you join me on the channel. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye!